Good evening, and thanks for joining us for another great episode of Hotspot. And welcome to Lae, Moorabbin Province. Yes, we're down here at the Lae Rugby League Oval witnessing the Schoolboys Rugby League Northern Zone Trials. Yes, each region has their zone trials to select a side to represent the region in the upcoming National Schoolboys Rugby League Championships. It's later in the year in September. And we'll also be joining Shane Morris of the Papua New Guinea Rugby League Foundation, who tells us a bit more about the trials that are going on around the country at the moment.
It has. It's been going well. It's small steps, and small stepping stones. We're getting places. This is our third year of these zone trials and going into the national championships. And just coming back from our June tour of Brisbane, the boys played down there. They played 8 games in total. And from there, there's been interest from a lot of clubs. There's 9 boys. It looks like to be scouted to go to schools or clubs in Australia. So that talent being out there is it's showcasing the skills that we've got. We're very raw up here, but our enthusiasm and our passion, and the boys that want to learn more about rugby league and about their positions are starting to strive and see that. If people are up here in Lae in September, you'll see that in national zone titles.
We're pretty well prepared. We think we've got the right players. We think we've done as much as we possibly can and given ourselves the best opportunity to prepare. We've just got to pick the right squad now and then head over to the cold. We've obviously, the reason why we want to play Scotland first over there is to get used to the conditions, because PNG players have traditionally travelled and played poorly. So this is one of the next step of the high performance program, is to get a pre-World Cup match over there in those conditions. So we know we'll get a lot of support. A lot of people will travel over the UK to help support us. We've got a pretty tough pool, but we know that if we play to our potential, that we're a chance of being successful.
Well, there have it. We have a great show. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. Stay tuned. And as we go into the break, we bring to you some of the great footage of the matches down here at the Lae Rugby Oval. Yes, welcome back to Hotspot. As promised, we're going to speak to Shane Murray. Shane, we're here in beautiful sunny Lae.
Yes, it's lovely days in Lae today, isn't it? Something different.
Yep, and we're here obviously because of the Northern Zone Trials. Tell us a bit about them.
Yeah, we've been going around the country. It's the third week of the zone trials. we finished the Southern Zone trials yesterday at Pommis, and last week we were up in NGI as well. We played the games at Colorbond. There was teams from East New Britain, West New Britain, also East New Britain, West New Britain, and New Ireland. They came into Kokopo for a couple of days. We had them in the teams of 15s and 17s and went through their process of their selection process to get into their zone trials to zone team to represent the NGI side. And today we're up here in sunny Lae. Lae's got about 50 schools participating in rugby league, so we put them into 4 zones. Into those 4 zones, they play their weekly competition and they get a side they're selected for 15s and 17s. And those sides today here playing at the Lae District Footy Field, going for their selection process in the Northern Zone side.
So how many players are you looking to select for the side?
We normally select 20 in the under 15s and plus under 17s. Then we have shadows too, so looking probably around 60 boys in total.
Yeah, I guess you're having a great time watching all this great talent down here.
Yes, very lucky to get up this morning, and it's lovely weather to be up here in Lae, and the kids are out here in force. When we got here at 8 o'clock this morning, they're keen, ready to go. So it's good to see the boys playing at showcasing their skills on a case, and also with the public out here in Lae too, supporting the kids, and also. It wouldn't be successful if it wasn't for the students and especially the teachers in schools. They've done a lot up here. Dennis Smiley from Lae Secondary School, he's sort of the chairperson of Schoolboy Rugby League up here in Lae and for the Moorabbin Province, and under his direction and guidance with all the people that he works with, is it's made the game up here even better than it was 12 months ago, just with competitions and structures and standards. So I'd like to thank everyone's involved in Schoolboys Rugby League around the country, also especially today up here in Lae.
Okay, now obviously these zone trials are for the upcoming National Schoolboys competition?
Yes, well they'll be happening up here in Lae. Up here about a month ago, and we scouted some areas for the boys to be built in for 3 or 4 days with their food and their accommodation, and also the ground. So they'll be up here on the 13th, 14th and 15th of September. So the boys, they'll fly on a Friday, they'll play on Saturday and Sunday, then they'll start travelling back on Monday on the public holiday. So we fit around the boys' schooling and making sure that their sporting doesn't interfere with their education as well.
Okay, so in your own opinion, Shane, how has Schoolboys Rugby League been going since it was first incepted?
It has. It's been going well. It's small steps and small stepping stones, and we're getting places. This is our 3rd year of these zone trials and going into the national championships. And just coming back from our June tour of Brisbane, the boys played down there. They played 8 games in total. And from there, there's been interest from a lot of clubs. There's 9 boys, it looks like, to be scouted to go to schools or clubs in Australia. So that talent being out there is, it's showcasing the skills that we've got. We're very raw up here, but, our enthusiasm and our passion and the boys that want to learn more about rugby league and about their positions are starting to strive and see that. If people are up here in Lae in September, you'll see that in the national zone titles.
And you head to the next region, which is the Highlands region, of course.
Yeah, we're up at Goroka next week, so they've had a process as well. The Highlands Rugby League of Schoolboys has grown there. It was based in Goroka, only having 24 schools that play rugby league, but now it's gone to Chiwave, Chimbu and also Anga. So Chiwave, Chimbu and Anga, they've had their selection zones, and the combined Chimbu-Angan side will come down and play Goroka next Wednesday.
And hopefully in the near future we can have the girls as well.
Yes, well it's all part and parcel. It's rugby league. It's a fantastic sport. It caters for both boys and girls, and we've got a structure in place. So when we get our boys running, it's hopefully that's when the girls can come on board as well. Because it's not the girls just not playing rugby league, but them knowing a lot more about rugby league and being involved, in schoolboy rugby league. We've got a lot of lady teachers that are involved in schoolboy rugby league with trainers, coaches, or managers, and also being administrators of the game too. So it's just not just for rugby league for both boys and girls, but also it's outside the game as well, with making the game the best it possibly can be.
I think that was I think we need to wrap this segment up. Well, thank you for joining us on Hotspot once again. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll go for a break. When we come back, there's plenty more on Hotspot. Yes, welcome back to Hotspot. Now we move away from the Lay Rugby League Oval and Schoolboys Rugby League as we head down here at Gateway. Yes, this was the final training camp for the Kumals, preparing for the World Cup. And we had the opportunity to speak to Coach Adrian Lam. Lammy, great to have you back. The last training camp for the Kumals, how did it go?
Yeah, that was Camp 4, completed today now. So it's very exciting. We've got 4 new faces and 1 old face back in there in this camp. And we just squad of 24 players. And it's been progressing over the year, and being the 4th camp has certainly helped us in our preparations for the World Cup. Obviously, it's important that that we focused on certain areas through this year, and especially for this World Cup in particular, and educating every player to a new level, and also taking them to a new skill level, a new fitness level, a dietary level. All those little areas has been important and part of the build-up.
You mentioned you have 4 new faces now. How have the team been bonding together?
Yeah, it's been great during the whole season, and one of the big things I've been really pushing lately is especially to the public, for awareness to all the supporters, that we're looking for a player not only that can carry the ball and run hard and tackle hard, but also has the rugby league smarts, what we're calling a smart warrior. We feel that that's a major critique for our side, and players that don't quite understand what we're trying to achieve in our game plans or tactics, or even just our culture. If they don't quite pick it up, well, then they won't be considered for the World Cup squad.
What are some of the things that you've been looking at throughout the camp for the players to be improving on?
Yeah, every camp's been a little bit different. Camp 4 has been all about educating the player through video editing system. So we've been showing them a lot of the Queensland traits that have been great, and not only as a team but also individuals, and breaking down individual players such as Greg Inglis in the centre position, or Jonathan Thurston in the halfback position. Teaching Asa Boas and Israel Eliab and Dion Aya certain areas that we want them to improve in those areas, and we've sat down and done a lot of videoing. We are finding that our PNG players learn best through visual, through TV. So rather than take them out on the field and try to teach them that way, we're also covering the area of seeing it through themselves, through their eyes of one of their star players through the TV.
That's quite true, because it also happens with other sports as well, just like football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we understand that people learn in different ways, and we've done a test, an IQ test, and also a VARC test, it's called, where we know every individual player in the team's strength through learning. So some of the players might be through my voice, some may be on the board, or some may be actually practically doing it on the field. So we know each and every individual's strength, and we try to work to their strengths, and we cover all areas by doing those critiques as well.
After Camp 4 now, what is the program for Kumals looking like?
Yeah, well, we've obviously there's a squad of 24 named in this camp. Minus 2 injured players in Mark Mexico and Albert Pata. Our next action for the Team Kumal will be a game the week before the Prime Minister's 13 match, which we may be calling either Possibles versus Probables, or PNG Red and PNG Gold. We're not too sure yet what the team's going to be named, but the idea of that is it'll be a selection process and a final stage for players to show their wares. Obviously, we have a pretty good idea of what we want already. I think that's fair to say. It is August, just about August, and the World Cup is in less than 3 months, so it's less than 100 days now. So it's countdown. But this possible probables game, if we'd like to call it that, will be played on the 22nd of September. So players will be selected after the grand final of the Digital Cup, and 2 teams will be formed, and those 2 teams will also include our overseas players who we think have been playing and in good form overseas in either the NRL or Super League. And 18 players from each team will come together to make 36. They'll stay in camp for 2 or 3 days together and then separate to play the game. And through that match, then a World Cup squad will be selected the night of the game, the Possibles Probables game, and that team will stay together and then play in the Prime Minister's 13 game. So that'll give us an extra match to prepare as a team. After the Prime Minister's 13 game, we have a week off, and then we come back together and we head over to the UK, and one of the matches proposed at the moment is to play Scotland the week before we play France in the first game on the 27th of October.
So how are you looking forward to the game? The Prime Minister's 13 will be held in Kokopo, of course?
Yep. Prime Minister's 13 in Kokopo. the possibles probables will either be Port Moresby or Goroka. We're trying to push for the Highlands there, but we'll see how we go.
Great, and looking forward to the World Cup as well.
Yeah, very excited. A little bit nervous because it's just that time of year again. It only comes around once every now and then, but you know, we're pretty well prepared. We think we've got the right players. We think we've done as much as we possibly can and given ourselves the best opportunity to prepare. You've just got to pick the right squad now, and then head over to the cold. We've obviously the reason why we want to play Scotland first over there is just to get used to the conditions, because PNG players have traditionally travelled and played poorly. So this is one of the next step of the high performance program, is to get a pre-World Cup match over there in those conditions. So you know, we know we'll get a lot of support. A lot of people will travel over to the UK to help support us. We've got a pretty tough pool, but we know that if we play to our potential, that we're a chance of being successful.
Great. So just for our viewers' benefit, who are the Kumus taking on at the World Cup?
Yeah, the World Cup pool for us is New Zealand, France, and also Samoa.
Ooh, the heavies there.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough pool, but it's not as tough as the last World Cup's pool, where we had in 2008 we played against England, Australia, and New Zealand. So could be worse, but you know, like I said, we know it's a tough pool, and we know we need to play well. But what underpins performance is preparation, and we think that we're going pretty good.
We do wish you all the best, and we know you guys can do your very best. If not win, I know you guys are going to do the best. You can.
I know. You know, the players. Part of the key is to also bind the players together, and I can already see a combination going on there. Some players may play out of position as well, but you know, we're excited to go over there and fly our flag for our countries. We're all very, very proud. We know we're wearing the traditional Kumul jersey, the red, gold, and black, and everyone that puts that jersey on will do their best and represent everyone that's worn it before them, and also fly our flag with pride.
Well, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Hotspot. Unfortunately, it is that time where we do wrap up another great show for yet another week. Hope you enjoyed the show and glad you could join us. Not forgetting your hotspots for this weekend: DigiCell Cup round 16. Not forgetting Super League, the sport of soccer at the Bicini grounds, and netball at the Ritterfling courts as well. And AFL, of course, heads into another round of great footy for you. If you are spectating or taking part in sports this weekend, do stay safe and most importantly, enjoy the game. Until next Thursday evening, we'll join you right here on Hotspot.